special, and you make it every Chinese New Year, and it's called jiaozi.
I don't know how to do this.
And they're dumplings, like. We're doing calligraphy and of Chinese characters, and it's really fun. What have you learned about the culture of China?
A lot of Chinese people dance and sing.
A lot of line dancing, which is where they dance in line costumes and stuff. It's a really whiny music.
What have you learned about China and culture?
That they ride in tuk-tuks and bicycles and buses.
They eat noodles and way different stuff than we do. And there's different parts of China. There's cities, there's countries, there's all different parts of China.
And they eat different foods like noodles, and they pick up food for lunch and breakfast off the side of the road, and they eat many different vegetables, and mostly in every meal they have rice to end.
What have you learned about culture in China?
That they mostly eat noodles, and they also really like rice, and they, in the city, sometimes they wear pajamas and clothes to school.
What does the word culture mean to you?
In China, they have terracotta soldiers. The terracotta soldiers are made out of terracotta clay. They hide the kings and emperors that have died in China.
There's a Great Wall of China, and in the Chinese New Year, they celebrate dragons and.
What did you learn about China?
That they had Mount Everest. It's the tallest mountain in the world.
Sweet.
Well, that China is a very big country and that lots of pandas live there. And I'm explaining to some people that haven't been to China.
Tell us something you've learned about China.
I've learned about the Great Wall of China, and it's really long. And also I've learned that they use chopsticks for usually every meal.
People were hunting for bamboo, and they cut it down, the bamboo, but they didn't realize that the pandas lived with where there's lots of bamboo, and then there's not a lot of habitat for pandas to live. Tell us something you've learned about China.
Well, some stuff I learned about China is a lot of people, almost all the people in China live in Beijing, and that's the capital of China.
What's something you liked about learning about China? I was researching, and I found this animal called the red panda, and it's not related to giant pandas. It was actually the original panda, and it's really cute. It looks more like a raccoon than a panda. Looks like it's our turn. What did you learn about China?
That the Great Wall of China keeps the war of China and Mongolia, and there are soldiers that guard the wall, so even if they get past, they'll just go back. Your turn.
I've learned that in Shanghai, if you put 40 Vermonts, that's how many people live in just one city of China. It must be crazy there.
Once a jolly swagman sat beside a billabong under the shade of a coolie bar tree.
Something that's different in Australia than in the U.S. They have kangaroos. Why is Australia called the land down under?
Because it lies beneath the equator.
What's a holiday in Australia?
Australia Day.
About school in Australia.
Well, they have to wear uniforms.
What landscapes do they have in Australia?
Rainforest.
How is school in Australia different than here?
They have to walk to school. We take buses and cars.
Tell us about some history in Australia.
We have the Pilgrims. They have the Aborigines.
What's the weather difference in Australia?
Sometimes it's really sunny, so you have to wear hats like this, mate.
That's pretty cool. Well, this flag has stars in red, white, and blue, but the stars represent the southern constellation, and it also has a British flag on it too because the British found it.
What are the different sports they play in Australia?
Well, I play soccer, and they play rugby. It's like a mix between football and soccer.
Did you learn about any of the foods in Australia?
Yeah, we learned about Vegemite. It's this kind of toast that has this sort of jam on it.
We only eat pizza in the U.S.
Go.
Whoa, what's that?
It's the Sydney Opera House. It's one of the most famous Australian attractions.
Whoa, what's that?
It's a boomerang, and you can use it for hunting and playing.
G'day, mate. Tell me some Australian slang.
Well, Oz equals Australia, and cozy is a bathing suit.
What's life like for a kid in Australia?
Well, they do a lot of jobs at home, like they chase, like chores at home, and like they make their own breakfast. And if you have a farm, then you chase the sheep into the barn.
How are recreation games there different from ours?
They play rugby and we play football. They're pretty different, though. Is Australia a continent or a country?
It's both, and also it's an island. It's the biggest island.
That's pretty cool. I wish we lived on an island.
With me.
Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda.
Americani, Missouri Sana, Wageni, Wagari Bishwa, Kenya Yetu, Hamaruna Tata.
Tell us about the song that you just said.
It's a song to welcome visitors. Jambo.
Swahili is the main language.
Food in Kenya.
Ugali is a thick cornmeal paste.
Where is Kenya?
It is on the east coast of Africa. There are many countries in Africa.
I heard you can count to 5 in Swahili.
Yes, I can. Moja, Mabili, Patune, and Tono.
I heard that the African savanna is even bigger than Connecticut and filled with lots of animals.
Yes, I can name 5 of them. Elephants, rhinos, zebras, lions, and giraffes.
What's the weather like in Kenya?
It's really hot and some mountain has some snow on it because the equator runs right through Kenya.
Why would someone visit Kenya?
There are lots of tourists go there to see all the animals in the safari.
When people go on safaris, do the animals attack them?
Oh, they just mind their own business.
What are these games?
Well, it's Kigogo, as they call it in Kenya, and this is what a normal board looks like. And this is what ones we made out of the classroom look like. They're made out of Epcot.
What are those? The African pants.
What's one cool thing you know about Kenya?
Well, there's an elephant rescue and baby elephants play soccer.
Kenya an island?
No, it's surrounded by 6 countries and an ocean.
Tell me about Mount Kenya.
Around Mount Kenya, it's desert, but Mount Kenya is actually really cold.
Where is Mount Kenya located?
In the Rift Valley.
AKA the Great Rift Valley.
I heard there's tribes in Kenya. How many?
More than 1,000. The Maasai tribe is the biggest one now.
Tell us about the regions in Kenya.
There are 4 major regions: the highlands, the Great Rift Valley, the savanna, and the coast.